Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Code Clearance Blue. Yeah, that's right. We're every week. We've got another one that's hitting this week. Obviously, here with James. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. It makes me nervous when you keep saying every week.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
pressure.
Especially next week. Double
Wow,
busy
what's
next
happening next
week.
week?
Or Christmas and all that.
Christmas?
Yeah, it's coming.
What?
No one told you.
No, I didn't know. What's going
Quick.
on?
Get down the entertainer. Get some figures.
Yeah, but what about the kids?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can. No, they can't have figures. Wasted. They break them.
Did I think I showed you, didn't I? Like about a month ago, we went up to the giant HMV just off of Oxford Street,
Yeah.
and because it was for my daughter's birthday, so she wanted to go record shopping. But obviously, my youngest was in tow as well, so I said he could pick something out as well, just so he didn't feel left out.
Yeah.
And he picked a Star Wars figure. I'll show you which one he picked out.
Go on then.
So
You
out
didn't show
of
me. Oh,
huh?
did you? Yeah, you did. You did. Go on. Remind me again. Sorry, I think I forgot.
Yeah. So out of the myriad figures available, including your Chewies and R2D2s and Han Solos and all that sort of stuff, he picked Marok.
That was it. Maroc.
Yeah,
Maroc. The myth behind Maroc.
mate, the mystery man.
God, he was more popular on Twitter than out of that whole series, wasn't he? Like, oh, it's definitely Qui-Gon. It's Mace Windu in a suit. He's back. He turned to the dark side. It's like, oh, calm down, everyone. No, it's just a bloke. And
I swear, like people were like, oh, Neil from Skeleton Crew. Oh, it's Mace Windu underneath there.
yeah. Oh, the little elephant kid. Love him.
Oh,
Well, that's why we're here anyway, just to chat about the latest episode of Skeleton Crew, which we both watched this morning as it hit our Disney players. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one. Not much I didn't think happened, but yeah, what do you think?
yeah, I thought it was all right. Again, it was a lot more character development rather than a lot of action and all that sort of thing. So that's fine. When I saw the title cards before I pressed play, and it said like, I'm paraphrasing, but it said like, the gang get into an adventure in a familiar place. I was like, here we go, back to Tatooine.
Tatooine.
I thought they were going to make a little pit stop.
Yeah, go and see what's her face.
old Pelly or whatever her name
Pelly, yeah, go and see her. Fix the ship. It's all coming. But no, luckily, not this episode at least. Anyway.
No, but it was a very good. Actually, turned out to be a very good description given what happened. So, yeah, no, it was good. I think, yeah, as I say, overall, more character development. Obviously, Neil was kind of front and center in this one, and if you take the fact that we kind of, well, not just us, but a lot of people saying that it's very kind of Goonies-esque and Explorers-esque and stuff. It's like, the nervous little kid gets a little bit brave, learns
Yeah,
learns a lesson or two along the way, but also imparts a bit of kindness and love the other way as well,
yeah. There's definitely a lot of moral stuff, wasn't there? Like, yeah, oh, why is everyone fighting, man? Why can't it just be peace? And he's sort of, because he's from this utopian planet of sort of, I don't know what it is. Is it like sort of communism? I don't know. Everyone's the same. Everything's the same. Like, because he said something weird. Like, I'm again sorry, jumping ahead again, but like he said something like, "Oh, I think it's his mum that works in the school, so he'll work in the school," and very much a North Korean system going on there,
Yeah.
and yeah, so that's quite interesting. But yeah, I mean, he was definitely sort of in it quite a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. An old Captain Scarlet was going by Jod in this episode, so I guess
He
we
was
have to call
Jods, yeah.
call him Jod.
He was Jod this one, wasn't he? Yeah.
So yeah, how do we? I forgot. I've literally just watched it, but I've forgotten how.
It was
how
that memorable.
Oh yeah, so they literally they're flying through, aren't they? And they think they've got home, right?
Yeah, they think they're there. They see the planet, and then they land, and it's sort of some sort of swampy, not as bad as Dagobah, but something like that. A bit misty. Find an old playground. They land. They go, hang on a minute, this is not home.
So it wasn't home, but it kind of was, which made me think all of these hidden planets that they discussed in the previous episode, like they all sound like they're exactly the same.
Does, doesn't it? Sounds like they've like, because as the obviously the episode went on, we saw the school, the this, the that. You know, they kept referencing it, but obviously it was all battered up. But yeah, you're right. I think they've clearly, when they, again, then later they named the planets, but like when we're in the sort of the map room, they said that they got the map out and they said those sort of 7 planets that are off the radar, but obviously they're not.
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting when they were making the attempt through the atmosphere. There seemed to be lots of like satellites around the outskirt of the planet. So maybe they were like radars or like monitoring equipment or something. So if anyone got too close, maybe either a cloaking device mechanism or just to alert the planet that there was like people getting too close or something, maybe.
Yeah,
But then, yeah, obviously they land down and then they're like, it looks like home, but I mean, it's been battered basically. So I think, was it Wim was like, did we sleep for 100 years?
yeah, because I thought that was my sort of first thoughts about it. It's like maybe they've done some sort of weird time thing here, and are we going down a bit of a time sort of Back to the Future esque reference now, as well as the Goonies and as well as the other 80s films. Now we're just going to 1985, and they've just gone 100 years in the future. And then because they walked into this house, and like I say, it's exactly the same. It looks like it's our house or whatever, you know. So yeah, it was very interesting. But then obviously, then we find out it's not quite like that, which is good.
Yeah. I think it would have been maybe a stretch too far to just accept an audience to accept like, oh, they've just jumped forward like 50, 100 years or whatever.
Yeah,
Because it's already intriguing enough without doing something like that, I think.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So they had a little wander about, and then obviously they, I like that they put SM33 on babysitting duty.
Yeah, yeah. And he literally went to babysitter mode, didn't he? Sort of. Bit violent a little
He's
bit.
like, "Come in here, baby." John's just like, "For fuck's sake."
Yeah. He went along with it. Went along with it.
Do you know what? Actually, he's really going along with it, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
The kids are telling him to go back in the hold and all that sort of stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, all right."
He's doing a proper Han Solo. He's just like, as in, he's just all about the end reward. You know, she's rich, kind of. Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's just like, oh, no, if I just keep going along with this, it's going to be fine because I can get myself out of trouble.
I think there's a excuse me. There's a little bit of Han Solo to Fern as well. I think, like the bit when she gets taken to meet the boss of that clan, and then they're like, get on your knees, and then like she's like, they're like, this is their names, and then she stands up and she's like, it's Captain Fern actually, like that. Yeah. And I was like, I thought that was quite Han Solo-ish.
Yeah, very good. But yeah, they sort of land at that planet and have a little wander, don't they? He stays on the ship and John stays on the ship. They kind of have a little wander, get lost, then suddenly they're in sort of this trouble with this sort of rebellion-looking other kid.
Yeah, more children.
More children being adults. And then I thought it did go a bit slow here and not much going on. She obviously took her back to her old man and said, oh, look, I found some more kids. And you know what I mean? Like it was, and they were trying to explain about the sort of the planet thing, which was good. And they're obviously on a different planet. But yeah, it was okay, you know?
Just makes me think that, like, if that planet is akin to Atin, then those people on the planet would have surely known what the kids were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's the school or whatever. Like, surely they'd be like, yeah, it did used to be a school. But they just seem like they've been plonked there to kind of live in a dystopian future, and they didn't know, they didn't know anything about the past of the planet. Which actually, now thinking about it, seems a bit weird.
Yeah. But I mean, were they originally there, or were they sort of just been there? I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Did they kind of stumble across the planet? But then why would they split into two factions or like whatever if they were all together at one point? Like I guess if there's a story to be explored and this isn't the time maybe or whatever. But I mean, like I didn't stumble across that whilst I was watching it, but I did think to myself, now we're talking, I'm like, actually, yeah, they were there and they got beef with each other, but then none of them seem to know what the kids are talking about in terms of like what the planet used to be or is similar to,
Yeah, yeah. No, I think you're right. It seems slightly confusing, but yeah. Anyway, they sort of, I suppose the whole premise of it really was sort of having one enemy, and then obviously Neil sort of steps up. Then doesn't he? Starts talking about peace and why is there a fighting? Why do people have to fight? And he like, mate, it's called Star Wars. It's wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about the war, mate. It's all about the war. And
then,
then,
who's in the name, mate?
But then you got Jod, who's obviously found a bit of cash stashed. Leaves the ship and he gets caught by the other lot. And then, as we find out in the end, they sort of come together and, yeah, he's negotiated some camels or whatever.
Do you know what? I thought that was quite refreshing, actually, when, like, the mist cleared and there was all those soldiers there and he just looked around and he was like, just shoot me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He wasn't going to try and talk his way out of it or fight his way out of it. He was just like, do you know what? I'll just, whatever.
Yeah. And the next line, which obviously we didn't see, was like, or have some cash. It's not even mine. It's not even mine anyway.
Found these little gold bars if you're interested.
Yeah. So it's sort of like, yeah, it definitely felt like a middle episode. Do you know what I mean? It felt like just a little, like you said, a bit of character building. I thought, because my first thinking was like, they can't be back already. Like, is this how we just stop the story now, And then Jude Law goes on. I don't know, like all these sort of different things went about it, but obviously it's now opening up a bigger story, which is, I would say, that's the fascinating bit. When they did go to that sort of, that hall, and they went to each one where you had like obviously you had to be at Akin there and at this and at that. At a corridor, and I don't know, like some other things. And then obviously Akin wasn't there, and this was there, and then SM33 goes fucking nuts. That's where I thought it was quite good. This is where it's like, okay, this is actually a good bit now.
Yeah,
the end.
Because when was it her name? Was it Hallie? I think, or
yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Like that. Like when she was like, "I'll take you to our leader," and then he was talking to them, and then Hallie was like, "Oh, what about the Tomb of the Fallen or whatever it was called?" And I was like,
yes.
"Oh, so the episode's going to be them doing a little adventure, trying to get into this tomb that's going to be full of booby traps and all that sort of stuff."
Yeah.
But then it was just like, no, we can't take them there. Go and give them some weapons and let them do some training. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So kind of a little side swipe to be like, no, it's not kind of what you think it's going to be. And then obviously, we get the stuff with Neil and Hayley kind of swapping, not life stories, but just how they're kind of living, isn't it? So she's very much like, we've got to be strong, we're fighters, we do this, we do that. And then Neil's just like, but why? Like, it's never going to end, is it? And he tells that nice little story about getting beaten up by his little brother and stuff. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice. Like just good to see the 2 points of view sort of converging together, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was quite cool. And then I think there was no battle between the two tribes, was there really? So that was a little bit of not a cheat, but they just kind of like cut to the quick, didn't they? Straight away, just like go and check that out, and then it's like, oh, it's Jod.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't see anything of what happened.
No. That was just very much keep the budget down. Just get the budget down. Yeah, it's Jod. He released the camels and like, right, finally I'm back.
Although he says he released the camels, and then Wim's just like, "Did you find my money bag?"
Well, I rescued you, didn't I? Good little. He's got a point. Yeah, good little comeback there. Yeah, then we were sort of in that tomb, and then I thought that was quite a good ending. That last scene.
Yeah, so that was really good. As you said a moment ago, like you had like all different like Atkins and Acker and all that sort of thing. So it just strikes me as being like the like. Are they saying it's the old Republic from like before?
They did, yeah. They
Yeah.
said Old Republic, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're talking pre-Empire there, aren't they?
Mm.
Even though we're post-Empire now.
Yeah. So obviously they've made these 7 planets. Maybe they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, it feels like but now. I think that it feels like that, and it feels like that. Obviously, there's a good story there. You know, why they done that. Was it sort of the Empire rising and just protecting, finding a place that's not sort of part of the empire, or was it before that? Was it way before that? You know what I mean? Like they sort of create these little 7 lovely little planets, and who
Yeah.
was it? That, you know what I mean? Like was it a king that sort of you know what I mean? You don't know, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Just
So
like I don't know. From my point of view, it seems a bit like they wanted to use those as like hubs purely just to kind of churn out like admin staff and stuff.
felt like that, yeah.
You
Felt
know.
like there's definitely a feel, there's definitely a need to it, isn't it? A bit like like the Andor prisoners. You know what I mean? Like making the Death Star. There's definitely a different need to these people. I don't know what they are, whether it's just school teachers or whether it's just because they don't leave the planet. Well, the idea of their planet is that they don't leave. So I don't know what the utopian sort of thing is, whether it's just to keep the human or not the human race because there's a different race. You know what I mean? Just keep that. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I think
like
we're finding out a bit more, which is quite interesting. I think.
yeah, I think that's definitely one of the biggest like plus points of the series so far is that mystery. I think
Yeah,
because I'm just thinking to myself if they're literally just churning out like admin staff and administrators and teachers and everything like, but they're keeping them just on the planets, right? So
yeah,
I'm guessing they churn the data and then they beam it out to wherever needs it in the
yeah.
galaxy
There
or
could be
whatever.
something more sinister in the background. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there could be.
You know what I mean? Like there could be. You know how when we went to Navarro and then found this massive cloning thing the other side of Navarro. You know what I mean? Like there's just this huge sort of thing, and obviously if this is a bit more beautiful, a bit more republic. Yeah, or maybe it's I don't know. Yeah, so there must be something, a reason for it, but yeah, why they set up these sort of 7 planets, or
Yeah,
whose
that's the
vision
thing
it
though, isn't
was.
it? Like it because it's Republic sort of Republic adjacent. You can't think of anything bad going on
No,
because they're supposed to be the good guys, and I know like
it's just
obviously
admin staff for Coruscant.
yeah, exactly, yeah, like they maybe they want to just streamline having people that are going to be just on their job and doing it and all that sort of thing, which I suppose in one way is good because obviously you get consistency and you get everyone pulling in the right direction and everyone knows what they're doing. But on the other hand, it's like you're kind of just breeding them to do that, really. Like, if they have families and they're like you said in the episode, Neil was just like, "Oh yeah, like that's the administrator building on my planet, and I'll grow up to work there like my mum does one day or whatever it was." It's kind of taking away people's free will or choice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said. It feels like maybe a bit more of a communist state, or you know what I mean, like where everyone sort of does the same thing and everyone's sort of treated the same a little bit, and everyone's on sort of the same money, and you know what I mean. Like it just felt a bit. Maybe now looking back at that first episode, maybe that's what it's probably more that type of planet, or yeah, which we've never really had, in this way. Obviously we've
Yeah.
had people looking the same and stuff, but like yeah, and so it'd be interesting to see what develops with that. I think that'd be quite a good thing, and maybe Jod knows a little bit more about it than he's sort of obviously because everyone started pumping, can or that hasn't existed before in the previous episode, but maybe he knows a bit more because he seems to be quite obsessed with the treasure.
Yeah, well, of course he is. That's all
So
he's really
there
after.
could be a famous treasure there. It could be famous, and then it starts turning into Indiana Jones or something. It's looking for the lost ark.
There you go. Push it up to the late 90s, and his dad
Yeah,
gets involved as well.
yeah, exactly.
Junior.
John, is that you? Yeah, there
But
we
I'll tell
go.
you what,
But
though, just as the episode wrapped, and obviously SM33 went a bit mental at the end,
yeah,
which I thought was really good, and it shows obviously that he's hiding something. So another question now is, who was his captain?
yeah, that was exactly on my mind as well. Are
Yeah.
we going to introduce someone we don't know or someone we do know?
Well,
Or yeah,
I've thought of one person it could be already, which would be a
okay,
nice little tie back to some of the other stuff.
okay. It's not
Could be
Mace Windu,
Hondo.
no. Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo
Okay.
Onaka.
Didn't
You know,
think
the
of
geezer
that.
that keeps popping up in the Clone Wars cartoons.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know of him.
Yeah, he's really good character as well. He's really funny and like really slippery. Like you never quite know if he's on your side or not. But he's definitely a pirate and a smuggler.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, kind of just trying to think whether the time period as well, like where we are and whether it's going to be again another person that weaves into this Mandalorian Grogu story. Do you know what I mean? And whether that's the
Yeah.
captain or whether that's the link, you know?
Well, because I mean, in the Book of Boba, they brought Cad Bane into live action, which made me think again Hondo would be quite a good one to do because he's quite a well-known character, but we've not actually. I don't think we've seen him in live action yet, so that would be
No.
quite neat. But then, if there's someone that we already know even more so, don't know. I don't know who it could be because, like you say, because we're at the after Jedi, we're post Return of the Jedi now, so because it's running concurrently with Mando and Ahsoka and everything. They could introduce a brand new character that then sort of carry on into the film, maybe or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just interesting because obviously that ship has just been there for a while, and it sort of crashed, and obviously that person were they part of the skeleton, or was that just sort of the remains, or was that? Do you think someone else
Who was that?
on
Sorry.
on the ship in episode one? We sort of see a dead body, not a dead body, but there is a bit of a was there a bit of a skeleton kicking about?
Well, yeah, because it's called Skeleton Crew.
Yes, yeah,
It's the literal skeleton in Skeleton Crew.
it's the literal skeleton.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that would have been whoever that would have been part of like SM33's crew, wouldn't it?
crew, yeah,
Like it would have
yeah,
been
yeah.
a crewmate or whatever.
Not necessarily the captain, but yeah, no, I think there's definitely someone, hopefully famous, hopefully someone we know, but yeah, or somebody that is linked. Because I think, that's what is always quite good about this series when you do see things that link. I think that's quite nice and sort of gets you excited by it. So yeah, I think the big mystery is definitely the captain. Sort of Jod's background, I think it's pretty straightforward. He might have worked for Jabba the Hutt once. Do you know what I mean? That wouldn't surprise you
Yeah,
if he said something like that. Sort of, being part of the pirate crew, and and sort of these planets as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we've got 3 or 4 mysteries. I mean, Jod's still intriguing because he was using Jedi powers for all we know in the
Yeah,
second ep, so and the third ep. So he's still intriguing because it's like, where does he kind of fit? But yeah, the planets are definitely intriguing, and I want to know who SM33's captain was now because I've got a little hunch. I think might see Mr. Onaka popping in, but yeah,
nice,
that'd be good.
good, good. Well, next week's Christmas, so we won't be doing. We'll be doing a different episode next week. Where we're just reviewing the year of Star Wars. We'll have a little Skeleton Crew break, and then we'll do a double header the week after.
I think that's fair.
Once we see it sort of developing to the end. This was episode 4, wasn't it? So yeah, 5 and 6.
Yeah, to be fair, episode 5 will drop on Christmas Day, won't it?
That's true. Oh, that's something to look forward to. That's
It's a
good.
nice little present, isn't it?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Bit of that, bit of Wallace and Gromit,
Bit of Gavin and
laughing.
Stacey.
Bit of Kevin and Stacey in the evening.
Bit of EastEnders Christmas special as well.
Oh, mate, that's pushing it.
Loving it. Roll on Christmas Day.
That's it. Yeah, so we'll do a little review next week about all the different things that come out, all the series, animation and live action over 2024,
Yep.
which is good. So had some good ones, controversial ones, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, cool. Well, we'll catch up next week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, cheers for checking us out, guys. If you're on Twitter, at UK Star Wars Pod, give us a follow. If you like what you see on YouTube, give us a subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching. And on behalf of Paolo, on behalf of myself, may the force be with you all.
Starting our approach, deactivate the security shield.
Security deflective shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by.